Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Glad to see you all coming in. Thanks so much for being here. We're super excited to have you. If you are just joining, go ahead and let us know where you're joining from in the chat. We would love to know where you're viewing from. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Ooh, nice. We have a Minnesota, California, Houston. Awesome. Lots of Californias already, three of them. Birmingham, Alabama, Philippines, Memphis, Tennessee, South Carolina. Oh, this is great. All over.
Okay, and Katie, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's right at 4 o'clock.
Perfect.
So, hi, folks. I'm Rachel from Classkick. I'm the director of marketing, and with me is Katie, our community coordinator. And we're going to get you guys started real quick. First off, just a few webinar housekeeping items from us. Um, the chat is viewable and chattable to panelists and hosts only. So don't worry if you ask us a question, we will respond to you. But our preference is for you to take the Q&A section and use that for questions that would be preferred to ask for the whole group or that might impact the group. I also will be sharing a survey with you via chat, and you will be able to see it and fill it out. And this is webinar 3 for those of you that aren't sure. And the giveaway will be announced in your follow-up email with the recording and your freebie. And I'm going to kick it over to Katie.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We are super excited to welcome you today. We are on webinar 3 of our series, and we're going to talk about real strategies for immediate feedback. Now, if you are new to Classkick, maybe you've never tried it before, you just heard about it, I want to just give you a little bit of an intro. So, Classkick is an amazing tech tool that teachers use in their classrooms that provides teachers with the ability to see student thinking in real time. So as students are working in the assignment in Classkick, teachers can watch them work in real time, watching them live. They can give feedback in real time. And what's wonderful is that you can use any curriculum. It's for, all of the different subject areas and any grade level. So kindergarten all the way through high school are using it. We even have some college schools that are using it. So it's very applicable for a lot of teachers everywhere. And we're super excited to share some strategies with you. We have our two of our coaches here today to talk to you about this, about feedback and ways that you can give that immediate feedback within Classkick. So we're going to talk about real strategies to respond while students are working, because that's one of the big features of Classkick that just makes it really unique for teachers, is that you can do that while they're working. You can watch and interact with them in real time. So I'm super excited to welcome Angela and Shacey, who are both teachers, and they're here. They're both coaches. They're here to share with you. So I'll go ahead and kick it off with Angela. You can get started.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am from California. I did see some Californians there. So I am a virtual teacher. I teach all my classes virtually in the state of California in a public school. I was a former brick and mortar teacher, but now I've transitioned. And about 3 years ago, I found Classkick and just ultimately fell in love with it and found it to be a game changer for me. So I want to share all the great things that I love about Classkick. I don't have enough time to do all the things, so I'm going to focus on a couple of my favorite feedback strategies that I use here in my classes. So one of the things that my school does is we give actual grades for engagement and participation. And so I wanted to share with you how I track that and give them actual grades for engagement and participation. I don't want it to be a subjective grade. I want to actually show them how they can earn those points and where to find those points, right? So I am collecting data, which is not the word we like to use anymore as teachers, but I am collecting those scores so that I can show them how to improve if they need to. All right, so I'm going to share my screen real quick, but don't mind. Here it is. All right. Everyone can see that okay? I want you to be able to see this is called the Days of the Week Engagement Tracker, and you can use this at any level in person, virtual, and for any curriculum. You can use it for math, etc. So this is how I'm going to show you how I use it for my homeroom. So I would initially label it for the week. So, for example, maybe it was the week of April 20th. I want to be able to show my students their points for this week. So I will then assign them these first five slides, which you will be receiving later, and some extra goodies behind that. But those first five slides will be what's assigned to my students. And I want to show you how I use our feedback to track. So I'm going to click here. You're going to notice that here's all the five slides. Here is my actual classroom, but you're not going to be able to see the names because I've used the hide the name feature. So Classkick provides all these cute little names for my students. I've also used the cover slide feature that hides all of my slides as I would like them to, and I'm able to open them up as I see fit. So I am going to start with my opening up my first slide, and this is going to be my Monday slide. So I click on my apply to all slide feature, and I click my bulk cover slides so they all open up at one time. So now my students are ready to go. When they log in, they're only going to be able to access this first slide. All right, on this first slide, the students are going to see their daily warm-up question. This is how I start my class off with their participation and engagement points. So they're going to be asked a question. This is a low stakes question. This is just getting to know you, how are you feeling, what's going on, getting their brains ready for the day. So as they're working on this is the first 5 minutes of class. As they're working on this, I'm going to grab my sticker feature. So this is my favorite thing of Classkick is their stickers. So I want to really show you how I use their sticker feature to give feedback. The first sticker I'm going to look at is the thank you for being on time sticker. This sticker has a 1 point attached to it because each slide is worth 2 points, one for their attendance and one's for their participation and engagement. All right, so as they're coming in, I can quietly give them feedback right away without disrupting the class. So Bold Bird, welcome to your class, welcome to Monday, thank you for coming in on time. I'm giving them their stickers. They're seeing that. They know I've acknowledged that they're there, but I'm not interrupting the class making all these announcements as they're coming in and getting ready for the day. They know to sign in and to get started with their daily questions. So I'm going to do that for the first few minutes, and then about 5 minutes in comes the other sticker that says, "Oh, you were late to class. Sorry, hopefully tomorrow you can be more on time." So I'm just giving these reminders. I'm not calling out any students, making them feel uncomfortable. I know everyone has bad mornings, so there we go. You were late to class, that's okay. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. And then after the period is over, I can go through, I'm going to go ahead and go through all my slide ones. So now you can see all my slides that have the stickers that say they were there on time or late. And now I'm going to give those absent stickers. So I'm going to I'm going to use apply to many. I'm going to select slides and students. And, excuse me, I forgot to click on that. All right, so I'm going to find all my students that don't have those stickers yet, and I'm going to then drop in the sticker that says you were absent from class. So all I have to do is find one, plop it in there, and all those students now have you were absent. All right, so those were mainly the first three stickers that I used during the day. Other stickers that I would be using during this time is like great idea stickers. So when they did actually answer those questions, I then threw on great ideas, and I can respond to them other ways as well, which we'll talk about. But right away, those stickers are great immediate feedback. They know I'm acknowledging them, and I'm not disrupting the class or embarrassing them for things that they might not be doing correctly. All right, so that's one feature I love about Classkick. So remember, I did say that I have to use these as grades. So at the end of the week, I can go over to my 3 dots over here and I can export the points into an Excel sheet and keep record of their points for each week. And therefore I have my data and I can put that into my grade book. And then my one last feature I want to show you real quick is right now it's last name A through Z. But at the end of the week or even at the end of the day, I want to see who is not participating, who needs that extra support. So I'm going to go from grades low to high, and that's going to sort my students so I can see my top students that I need to reach out to. I need to either email or phone call or however you would like, just to make sure that they know that I'm aware they haven't been attending or participating, and let's see what we can do for next week to be better. All right, so those are my trackers for engagement and participation. It's just a quick insight. And like I said, you're going to be getting this as well as this slide, which is those fun stickers that I use daily. So please turn on your camera stickers. You can look at here and see if any apply to your class. And then also those low stake questions. I have provided elementary, middle school, as well as high school questions if you want to use them in a homeroom setting. Again, you can use this for any content area. All right, so you know I love stickers. Let's talk about a few more goodies that I love to use for my Classkick and making those connections with my students. All right, so I'm moving on to math. I am a seventh grade math teacher. We were talking about unit rate, and I posed this question to my student. And this one student did not get it right. So, of course, immediately I dropped my sticker on there. But I want to give this student a little more feedback, a little more support. So, one of the great feedback tools is this link right here. It says add a link. So, especially for math, there's so many great quick videos for my students that I want them to be able to use outside of class if perhaps we don't have time to connect. I'm going to drop in a unit rate video, Mr. J, my favorite. So I'm going to copy his link. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to drop that link in here and I'm just going to call it unit rate. All right, so now there is a link for support. And the great thing about this is when the students go there and click on it, it doesn't take them to another web browser. It keeps them right there in Classkick. All the ads are eliminated and it goes right into the video. Super great. Now, another feature that I like to use is this microphone. As you can see, I'm a talker. I want to chat with my students. But say we don't have time in class to chat. This is a feature that I can use outside of class. And so when they come back to this slide, they can find a little note from their teacher. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that microphone and say start recording. All right, I just want to leave a little feedback for this student. His name is student number 1. Not very clever of me, sorry. So hello, student number 1. Thank you for trying this problem. It looks like you got the wrong answer. I would love to see your steps so that I can further help you and see where your errors might be occurring. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. All right, so now I have a little message to my student, very intimate message. You know, it's just for the student. No other students can hear it. It's just for this one student. And again, not embarrassing the student in front of anyone else. I just a little quick note right there. All right, so now I have my video. I also have a little cute message to my student, but I'm going to add one more feedback feature that you guys can use for your students. It's where it says the raise hand button. All right, you can click on that, and the student and I are chatting with each other. We have a little chat feature here. You know how much students love their chatting, right? So I can go ahead and leave a message for the student right here that says, please watch the video and listen to my message. Oops, I spelled that wrong. All right, so I have that right there. And now the student can see this message from me, can see all this feedback and support from me. And it really took me just, a few minutes. All right, so let's see what it looks like on the student's end. I'm almost done. Hang in there. All right, from the students, and let me go all the way back here. All right, here's a student. He's coming into this math demo. He's looking, and I'm just going to go to this slide just to show you what it might look like. It's overwhelming. I left so much feedback. The student is like, Mrs. Jones, like, this is too much for me. Guess what? They have this great feature off to the right. It's this little squiggle button, and you just toggle it, and all of my feedback is gone. All right. No, it did not disappear. They did not delete it. It is still there. But for them, if they just want a clean workspace and they can get started, it's such a great feature for them to know about. So please be sure to share that with the students if you are giving all this feedback on those slides. All right, I can go on and on, but I am going to hand it over to Shacy. Shacy, thank you so much. You could take it from here.
Hey guys, I'm Shacy Perez. I'm from Oklahoma and I also teach virtually with Epic Charter Schools in Oklahoma, and I'm with our Math Plus department, so we teach all of our students online through Zoom as well. Um, I'm going to talk to you about some more feedback features that Classkick offers. Let me get my screen shared right quick. Make sure I share the correct one. There we go. And you'll also get my slides as well when everything is finished. I kind of set up a variety of grade levels and subject areas just so you could kind of get a different point of view. I also teach middle school math. This year I'm teaching 8th grade math. So on the first slide here, this is a kindergarten to 2nd grade math worksheet where students have to balance the amounts. Down here, we have the manipulatives that the students can grab and drag. Let me show you from this one. Grab and drag them to, oh, it's not going to go on top because I had to replace the thing. But they grab them and drop them on top of the graphic. And different ways that I would provide feedback for this one is I could use the pen tool, which in your toolbar up here, I would choose the pen. And then I could go in and circle. I like to use bright colors, so I'll switch to blue. Circle ones that they maybe did not get lined up. So for instance, if they had this box right here in one scale, we can count it 10, 20, 30, 40, 55 cents, right? So this one's 55. And then maybe they used this one right here. And you know, when you count it, that one's 31 cents. Those don't match. So a couple of ways you could do it is you could just circle them so they know that they need to check those because they weren't correct. You can use whatever color you want. I don't usually use black just because it blends in with most of the text. So I try to choose different colors and but still ones that are easy to read. You know, you kind of get creative with Classkick and making your slides, and sometimes you might have a blue background or yellow background. So I just try to make sure that the color I use stands out. Um, Once you do that, you can also do certain things. Like I have some students, and even like kindergarten to 2nd grade students may have problems with reading because their reading levels are still developing and they're still learning how to read. I even, as an 8th grade teacher, I have some students that are on a 1st grade reading level. So I also like to use the text box as a feedback. And so in here, I could put, please try again. And then my students have like an app on their computer that it will like read. It's a read and write app that they can push the thing, highlight the text, and it will read the text to them. I cannot words today. So that's a couple of ways to do it. Moving over to slide 3, here is a science 3rd to 5th grade level worksheet, and we have predator and prey. And so for this one, I set up these boxes, and the nice thing about them is when you put them in, you can set what the answer is. So it gives them immediate feedback if they got it right or if they got it wrong. If they get it right, it will turn green and show them they got, have this one set for 1 point. So each box is worth 1 point. It will show them they got 1 point. If they got it wrong, maybe they even just misspelled it, it's going to turn red and tell them they didn't get a point. And so that's where you could come in and you could still give feedback, such as the highlighter, which is this tool here. And you could go in, maybe they misspelled Robin, you could highlight it and say, check this, please. I'm also huge on the stickers. I'll show you a few of mine just real quick. I have some that are worth lots of points. If they missed a page in their slides, you could put not complete, and that would pop the sticker in there. I should have pulled up a student tab. I'll have to do that in a second. But that's another few ways that I use the feedback. Let me show you how to do a fill in the blank box because I skipped that. So if you want to do your own fill in the blank box, you use this little dashed square at the top in the toolbar, and then you just put it where you want it. And over here, you can add any acceptable answers, but they have to be exact. So for instance, I teach math, and if you have the number 1,200, your students may leave the comma out. That's pretty common anymore. But if your acceptable answers you put only the comma, then that's the only thing that will make it turn green. So you have to be careful and you have to really think like, what are my students going to use when they type in to the fill in the blank box? The assignment that we did today, we had simple interest. And so I had lots of different options, ones with dollar signs, ones without, ones with commas, ones without, and that sort of thing. And so it is picky on the different acceptable answers. You can put as many in there as you want to. You can also leave them with no answer and not assign any points to it, and then provide feedback that way. And in that instance, you could just use like a point sticker and give them a point for it. I need to pull up a student one. Moving on to history. Okay, another way for history, I'm awful at history, so I apologize if my graphics are very wrong on the maps. But this one has students drawing, coloring, and labeling maps of Latin America and Europe um, after the revolution. And so they would get to use some real creative freedom here. You could choose to color Mexico purple. And so you could color it in here, and then they could go over here and say, okay, Mexico's over here. And then I did want to show on this one, you can add in an image for a student that is really struggling. Maybe they're on an IEP and they have modifications and accommodations where you need to provide quite a bit more support. So you can add an image. I'm going to go here and show you how to do that. So hit the little image button and then upload from your computer. I already have one saved here that I could upload right on the screen to help my student with, I did the European one, to help them, now they can see where the country should go. And so that would give them a little bit more of a clue and a hint, and make it a little bit easier for any students that were struggling at all with this one. I also have an ELA passage, and we do a lot of reading comprehension in English. I've taught English too many times. So for this one at the bottom, past the passage, I have entered multiple choice questions. And this is another way to get very immediate feedback. So for multiple choice questions, you would choose the little squares with the lines, and you can have as many choices here as you want. Once you have like number one was C, I would choose C. And then you can set points or you don't have to. I know from my middle school students, a lot of times I will leave the points off just so they can't just click A, B, C, D until they turn it green without actually doing the work. So what I will do is I will say, I'll give them this passage and I'll say, okay, guys, we have 10 minutes to read through the passage and answer the questions at the bottom. And then after that time is up, then I will turn the points on the assignment in order for them to see if their multiple choice answers were correct or not. If I can tell that a kid is really struggling with their comprehension on this, I like to go in, and there's one that specifically asks about a paragraph number 5, we'll say. I could go in here and make sure, are they noticing that they're numbered and that this is paragraph 5? So maybe it's talking about this section right here. I can go through and highlight to help them with whichever question they're looking at. Let me show you one more thing before I show you how to create a sticker. The stickers are so fun. So here's an example from my class today. Like, had it at 1:30 and I was like, oh, this is perfect for the webinar. So like I said, we were doing simple interest and we're talking about loans on a car and, comparing interest with simple interest and then the declining balance interest. And so this is one of my more struggling students. He couldn't figure out what he should put in the loan calculator. So what I did was really quickly, he had raised his hand in his Classkick to say, hey, I need help on number 5. And I went in and I set up the calculator on my own computer and I took a little snippet of it and I pasted it on his page. And then I put him a note here because he's one of my ones that's on a first grade reading level. And I said, look at the screenshot I added below so that he could see this is how he should set up his calculator. And then I even highlighted, you can see right here, the part that he needed, which was the total interest cost for that question that we were on. And so that is another way to do more feedback. There's so many different ways in Classkick, and it is top notch on the real quick, give feedback to your kids. And like Angela said, she absolutely loves the stickers, and I do too because they're so fast and easy, and you can use them for lots of ways. We assign notes every week, and I can quickly on Fridays go in and use my not complete sticker so that kids know, hey, you didn't do this slide. This was your note slide, go back in and do it. And it's super fast. And it also helps parents because our parents are really involved with our students since they are virtual to be able to, oh, I see the not happy sticker here. What did my kid not do? And so it's really good indicator for them. So I want to show you really quickly how to add a new sticker. So from any assignment, just go into a slide and then you click the star button, which is your add sticker button. Once you're there, you choose add new sticker, and you'll also get these directions. They'll send them out with the email, right, Katie? Is that right? Yes. Okay. You can change your image. So yes, the green owl is cute, but maybe you might need a star for something, or you want a globe because you teach geography. You can use anything you want. I really like to do the custom image ones. So I'm going to import custom image, and I have already saved a few in preparation for this webinar. I used the Bitmoji app. Now be careful if your school is not Bitmoji friendly. I did it on my personal computer and emailed it to myself. But I did create this one, and here is a sticker. I uploaded it, hip hip hooray. And now that's in here. You can add text here if you want to, or you can leave it blank either way. I would probably leave this one blank because it says hip hip hooray, which would show students they did get it correct. It's like a party. You can put it as points, or again, you can leave that part blank and then you hit save. And then it is here in your long list of stickers. You can also move these if you hold down and drag them. So like when I was making my point stickers, I had like 1, 2, and 5, and then I had assignments that I needed a 3, 4. Well, I like my stuff to be in order, so I drag and dropped them up to the top. Um, let's see, is there anything I missed? I think I got it all. Okay, let me stop sharing.
Yeah, you did great. That's wonderful. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Shacey and Angela, for both of your presentations. So helpful to see those things in action. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. I haven't seen any questions pop up in the Q&A spot. So if you have any, please look at in your Zoom at the bottom bar. There's a little section called Q&A, and it might be under more if you don't see it. But there's a Q&A section. You can ask questions. Maybe if you want to see something, we can be on for another 15 minutes or so to answer your questions. I did see one in the chat that I'm happy to address. Yes, perfect. So Angela said the speaker feature. So yes, somebody asked in the chat, did you say that there was a way for students to press a button and have the information on the slide read to them? Or do I have to record myself reading the information on the slide? So Angela, do you want to go ahead and share your screen and show what that looks like, the text to speech toggle? Oh,
Unmute, unmute.
yep.
Okay, there is a text to speech option when you are under the edit option when you're creating yours. You can click the text to speech. That's the microphone. That's not the text to speech. Over here, there's a speaker. That's the speaker. You'll notice that it's on because it has these bright speakers right next to it. So anything that has been typed can be read out loud to the student. All right, so then you'll have this speaker feature.
Creative and
Oh,
thought-provoking.
sorry, could you hear that? So that is available, but as a student as well, let me show you what it looks like as a student. So you can have this feature on. As a teacher, you turn it on for your students to have that access to it. If it is like a copied, like a screenshot, it won't read it. It has to be by using our texting where you can put it in. But you can copy and paste text in there like I did below. So these are all going to be read to the students. If you are a student, let me show you the student. I lost my student feature here. So here's when I left the note for the student, I just wrote it down here like Shacey did. And then again, you can turn this feature on so that the student can hear when they come to the slide, they'll be able to click on that. I can show you the student's perspective in a moment, but I'll go ahead and stop here unless anyone has any more questions about this.
Yeah, one thing I will mention about that too, just to clarify that the text to speech toggle is something that your students have in their toolbar, and they can click on it if they want those little buttons to pop up. So if they click on it, those buttons will pop up. It will only read aloud what's typed into Classkick with a text box or a fill in the blank. If it's like a PDF with text on it, it won't read it aloud. Except I have heard from some teachers that it may do that on, if you're on iPad in the app, it may read aloud PDFs. That's something I still need to look into and see if that's true. But I've heard that from some teachers. All right, thank you, Angela, for sharing that. Let's go to another question here. Somebody asked if one of you can show the cover slide and that tool, how it works. Is it slide by slide or the whole assignment?
I mean, I'll jump there because I did use that earlier in my presentation. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to share my slides. All right, so here are my all my slides, and I have covered them all by using the Apply to Many feature. So in the beginning, after I assign it, before the students are able to log in, I apply to all students in slide, and I click on all the slides I want to cover, and then I bulk cover them. And the same goes for when you want to open them. You're going to go to Apply to Many, apply to the student and slide. And this, for example, I'm going to open up Tuesdays for them. So I'm going to click on all Tuesdays there by just applying. Go back to the bulk cover, and then you can click on it, and now it's open. You can also do it one by one. So if Peggy Pig is ready to move on, you can go ahead and open them up one by one for her. You can also close them up as need be too. Hopefully that helped answer that question, but feel free.
All right, there was a question about that. Is it typical for the cover slide to slow down the functionality if I have 100 students and 50 plus slides? Sometimes, I will say that sometimes that does happen. So if you have a lot of slides, that's usually what it is if you have a lot of slides, like 50 plus, that can sometimes slow things down a little bit. So we just recommend like breaking it up into separate assignments if you can. And then Not as much when you have a lot of students, but you could try breaking up your students into separate rosters if that would make it a little bit easier for you to navigate and not have to deal with any um, possible slowness, because that is a possibility.
One thing that we do, because we have a large amount of students that are all in the same assignment, is we use like a cover photo. And so you just in your teacher side in the editing section, you could just paste a cover photo that says not ready yet or under construction or whatever catchy thing you wanted, and you put the photo on there, and then whenever you are ready for students to work on it, you just delete the photo off, and then that does not seem to slow anything down. That's what I personally use, because it was fairly slow. We have large slides and lots of kids, so we started using the picture covers and they work really well.
Awesome. That's really helpful. Thanks, JC. That's a really good tip. Okay, I did have a question in here. Somebody is asking if Classkick is available outside the USA for free. Yes, there is a free version of Classkick for anyone in the world. So I'm going to share with you this page. Let me find I don't know where my Zoom went. Hold on just a second. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you really quick so you can see what this looks like. But this page is just at classkick.com/order, and you should be able to see all of the options here. So are you seeing what I'm seeing? I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right thing. I have a lot of things open. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So you can just try it out and practice. There is a limit of 10 assignments. And then there's a limited number of student pages per month. So your student work that your students are doing pages within the assignment. And then if you wanted to try a little bit more, you can go to the starter plan, the expert plan, and the champion plan. If you have like a whole school or district that's interested, we also have those plans as well. We have a pro team plan, a pro school, and then pro district. So just depending on where you are at, and then if you have like a whole team of people who are interested, please reach out and let us know if that's something that you're interested in, and we can certainly help you get set up. You can always email us at support@classkick.com. Pretty quick and easy way to contact us. All right, let me make sure I don't see any more in the Q&A. Let me just check our chat here. Okay. Oh, then if there's the limit of auto-generated assignments. I'm not quite, I saw that question, but I'm not quite sure what that means. What is the limit of auto-generated assignments? Um, but that for assignment limits, I would just say it's based on your plan. So if you have this basic plan, it's going to be a 10 assignment limit. Okay, I don't think I see any other questions right now. But if you have any others, feel free to put them in there. We've got a couple more minutes to stay on. And oh, one more thing to note, just make sure that you click that survey in the chat. We put it in there a couple times. There's a link from Team Classkick that says survey link. So go ahead and click that and do the survey for this webinar. This just really helps us to improve our webinar series and just to make sure that the next one is even better for you guys, because we want to constantly improve what we're bringing to you and making sure it's really valuable and worth your time. We know as teachers you don't have a lot of extra time, so we want to make sure that we're using it well. And so this is webinar 3 if you are doing that assignment or that survey. Okay, yes, there's the beta AI assignment create. That's what she's talking about. Yeah, so that we do have a AI assignment create feature that's currently in beta mode. So we have some teachers testing it. And I don't think that there's a limit to that other than whatever your account limit is. So whatever your plan limit, that would be the only limit that I would think you'd have for that. So that's really exciting that we have a couple really cool AI tools coming out very soon. Yes, you're welcome. Of course. Any other questions on feedback? Anything else you want to see? Giving feedback for your students individually. I've seen some teachers do feedback for all of their students by just putting it in edit mode. All right, cool. Well, we will stay on for a few more minutes. I want to make sure that everyone gets questions answered. But if you are heading out, that's totally fine too. And thank you guys so much for being here. And we're very happy that you joined us. We're really glad that you joined us for this session, and we will be doing some more. We have 3 more coming in this webinar series. So same time every Tuesday for the next 3 weeks now, 3 more weeks. It's a 6-week series. This one was number 3. So we'll have number 4, 5, and 6. Yes, you guys are so welcome. Thank you to our awesome coaches for walking us through all of those great tips and tricks. Thank you, everybody. Yes, you're so welcome, Ryan and Karen and Hazel. Thanks for joining. Come back next week for more.
Thank you, ladies, so much for presenting, and we will see you guys again soon. Bye, folks.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.